Welcome everyone to our investor meeting. We have some exciting plans for our future development that we would like to share with you. We here at Umina Organics have the opportunity to expand our current line of children's sleepwear into a new country. Presenting this opportunity to you today is Finlay, the CEO, Lauren, the Sales and Marketing Manager, and myself, Skye, the General Manager. The product line that we wish to expand is the children's sleepwear line. We intend to create a new line that has similarities to our existing line. We would like to involve some local designers to create a line that helps to display the cultural heritage of our intended country of Jamaica.
We currently occupy 25.3% of the Australian children's sleepwear market. However, there are predictions that the Australian market is in a steady decline that is not going to change soon. By expanding into Jamaica's tourism market, we are allowing ourselves diversity to continue operations. Currently, all design, manufacturing, and sales and marketing is done in-house. When we expand, we hope to maintain our current production ethos by working with locals to design, produce in the factory, and to help market the products. The designs will be local and exclusive Jamaica, helping to develop a unique brand that is recognisable worldwide.
When we market the new products, we are looking to expand into social media. There is research that shows that 2.82 billion people use social media, and this number is only expected to grow. Without tapping into this market opportunity, we are missing out on potentially millions of dollars in sales. This marketing strategy is also going to enable us to increase our brand recognition, allowing for expansion from a local perspective to a worldwide one. Jamaica is a smaller Caribbean country with a population of approximately 2.7 million. The tourism sector of the economy accounts for 15% of the country's GDP. How often do you go on a holiday and have a list of presents that you need to bring back for family or friends? Umina Organics would like to be that brand that gives you something different in every country but is still the same product at heart.
Jamaica has a protective principal law. This means that they have jurisdiction over any entry into the country. This will mean that we need to maintain compliance with Jamaican laws and register the company with the Companies Office of Jamaica. The initial entry into Jamaica will also include business insurance, income tax, and education tax. We will also need to be compliant with the Companies Act of 2004. In Jamaica, businesses typically have a centralised business approach. This similarity with Australia will smooth the transition process and mean less conflict between existing and new employees, allowing us to effectively run both arms of the organisation. Cultural differences, such as gender equality within the workforce, may be an adjustment that will require management.
Hofstede's cultural principles identify differences in individualism, long-term orientation, and indulgence, potentially creating further issues within the expansion. This must be taken into account as they will impact on the operations. The score of 0 on the indulgence aspect means they tend to have a less optimistic mindset, which can cause low morale within the team. Our decision to expand into Jamaica is supported by their large tourism industry that is expected to increase. Their strong cultural heritage aligned with our strategic vision for the first stage of our expansion. Expanding into Jamaica means we are able to meet our own social goals by creating jobs and boosting the local employment rate.
We are going to use a domestic plus foreign subsidiary structure for this expansion. This will allow us to have a branch in our domestic offices that relate to the overseas operations. It means that we are able to see true figures as to the profitability of the operations without having to separate them from our normal operations. Umina Organics will partner with Soma, a local women's sleepwear label. This strategic alliance will give us credibility within the Jamaica clothing industry. This alliance will help us to minimise any cultural differences that may be present during the transition period. The partnership will prevent the businesses from being in direct competition.
We acknowledge that to continue with this expansion, we will require a global compensation policy. This will establish guidelines on employment standards along with extrinsic and intrinsic reward systems for employees that are relevant in Jamaica. Compliance with the Sustainable Development Goals issued by the United Nations ensure that we are a socially accepted business worldwide. Our addition to Jamaica's tourism and clothing markets assists in supporting and expanding the local economy.
Umina Organics are an equal opportunity employer. The best candidates for the job will be hired regardless of gender or ethnicity. By providing ongoing training for both personal and professional development, employees are assisted with gaining the skills they need for the job and give them hope for future endeavours. A budget of 500,000 Australian dollars has been identified in order to fund the expansion. This involves renting a factory, purchasing machinery, business setup costs, along with additional marketing and HR expenses.
All employees must undertake cultural awareness training. This is in both arms of the company to allow for understanding between the cultures. Ofsted's study indicates Jamaicans prefer to work in groups rather than individually, in contrast to Australians, which will need to be considered when creating management structures. There are a number of political risks that need to be considered when entering any new country. In particular for Jamaica is the continuous threat of corruption. The government is emerging and can be considered unreliable. However, there is huge advancements over the past few years, which can work to our advantage, for example, getting in before the taxes increase.
All good proposals cover all bases. This includes for us an exit strategy. By only signing a lease for 2 years, we are not overcommitting our resources. A business evaluation will be undertaken every 12 months, along with consistent management of pestle elements. Umina Organics is expanding into Jamaica to solidify our hold on the children's sleepwear market. It is both economically beneficial and socially responsible for us to expand into an emerging country with plenty of room to grow. Umina Organics are asking for your investment in our future growth.